Good morning everybody, Victor here. We just came out of Hillsboro Inlet and we're greeted with a beautiful flat call motion because it has been so rough lately, so it is a very nice surprise. Now, today's mission, we're at this spot where we're gonna catch these big bait fish known as speedos, fingers crossed. And all day long today, we're gonna slow troll these baits and try to catch big fish. Kingfish, dolphin, sailfish, tuna, wahoo. These bait fish are big fish magnets, so we're gonna jump right into it. We're at one of our bait spots that we like to come to. And first thing we gotta do when it comes to catching bait is put out the chum. So I just got some chum right here. I got my chum bag, which we're gonna tie right off to the side of the boat. So this is basically just a giant block of fish guts and pretty much just ground up fish. And as this thaws out, it's just gonna get released out of those little holes and basically just attract that's anything in the area. We're gonna let that chum come out of there and just wait. And then guess what? This is the first time on camera I've officially announced Ricky and I are finally married.
Wow.
After being engaged for 4 years, and we've been together a whole total of 12 years. I'm now a married man, and now she's a married woman. So it feels good to finally say that on video.
I think you've been making videos for what, like 7 years now?
Since 2013 was my very first video.
So, wow, almost 10 years. So like 9 years he's been making videos. So some of you guys have probably been following us for that long along our journey. So thank you everybody who always supports us.
Yes.
Has said congratulations, well wishes, anything. So thank you.
And now you guys can finally stop commenting
Yeah,
when
for
you're gonna
real.
get married, because it finally happened. The speedos just showed up, saw them in the slick, and this is a really cool device that you can use to catch them. So this right here, you guys saw how collapsible that was? This is called a ballyhoo. So it's basically this giant ring that kind of acts like a cast net, and it works best if you put a lead. There's got to be some type of weight on the bottom of it so it sinks. And we're gonna set this in the water right here. And when those speedos get right on top of it, you slowly pull it up and they'll go right into it. And there's 2 ways to catch the speedos. One is with that hoop net, and then another is just hook and line. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut little pieces of squid, just like this. These annoying, pesky little fish. Wow. See how unlucky that is? See how unlucky that is? I was going on hook 'em. Luckily it didn't go through, but that could have been really bad.
Oh God.
Woo. Almost got a hook to the finger. Those file fish, I think, are messing up our flow of the speedos because they just keep eating all the chum, and I can't catch them on hook and line because the speedos just keep eating my squid before the speedos get a chance to get it. But it's okay, we're gonna catch them.
Oh yeah.
Yee-hoo! Do you see how excited I get when we catch bait?
Oh, there is a flock of.
Look at this. That right there, that'll make any saltwater fisherman excited. That right there, oh, beautiful speedo in the well.
Look at them. They're such beautiful chunky baits, huh?
They are. I never
looks
heard
like-
anyone describe a bait as a beautiful chunky bait.
Wow, that's the perfect way to describe them already, but it's the weight. Got 'em.
It's just so satisfying catching bait. Catching bait is just as much fun as catching fish. So now that we got them really fired up right next to the boat, they are literally straight up and down. What I'm gonna do is slowly lift this hoop net up and they should go right into it. I'm just slowly hovering it higher and higher and higher, and just constantly shaking that chum bag, get them real stupid and comfortable. And I'm gonna wait until there's a lot right over the net and then pull it up real fast. There's already, I could feel it. Look at that. Just like that. I mean, normally you can get a lot more, but I already felt them in there, so. But that is how easy you can catch the fastest bait fish in the ocean with one of these things, a ballyhoo.
Oh yeah, baby.
This is so satisfying, guys. Oh, I got a file fish too. We got a bonus prize, huh? There's that annoying pesky file fish. You always get worried when you pull up to the bait spot and they don't show up right away, but these guys this time of year, pretty guaranteed. You put in at least 30 minutes of chumming, they're gonna come. Amazing little product. The fact that you can collapse that, store it in the boat. We caught speedos with it today, but it works really good for ballyhoo as well. And I actually got a coupon code with them. You guys can find that link below. Not sponsored, but as you guys see, I mean, it is a crazy little machine to have on your boat. All right, guys, the best part of the day is over, catching bait. So I'm getting all the rods down. We're gonna head offshore and start slow trolling. And I'll show you guys, and we're gonna walk through the whole thing of how we set these guys up. So we're gonna do a 3-rod spread. So I have number 6 American fishing wire, mustad treble hook. I have a sliding treble hook on my titanium. So the reason this is nice is because it allows a lot of flexibility in where you place your hook. It's more forgiving and it just gives you more freedom, and it's not as rigid of a rig. So let's net one of these big, chunky, beautiful baitfish, as Brooke called them. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this treble hook and watch how I hook him. I'm gonna hook him like that. This way he can't shut his own mouth shut. Everything needs to be nice and streamlined. One treble hook there, and one treble hook there. Okay. I'm gonna set him back around 50 feet, and we're actually gonna put him out on my homemade downrigger. What I have here, I have my 50 wide, right? I have a big 4-pound lead. What this is gonna do is I'm gonna sink this about 50, 75 feet, however deep I want my speedo. And I have a release clip. It's just like a kite clip, but this is a downrigger clip. And what I'm gonna do is wrap this line around here, and it's gonna sink that bait. And when a fish comes by and pulls with enough tension, it's gonna release that clip. So now I'm free from this rig. I can reel up that downrigger rod and I'm good. It's the same way downrigger works. The only difference is mine's gonna be on a rod and reel versus a downrigger. So we're gonna twist the line, and what that's gonna do is prevent my line from just freely going through the clip. It's gonna secure it in place, okay? Just like that. So I have it with enough tension so that way it shouldn't pull out. Now I'm gonna lower this to probably like 50 feet down. And now we're gonna do 2 flat lines on top. And this is another good way to get as many baits out as possible. But by putting one down, it's gonna allow you to fish more baits. Okay, so basically the same rig, but this one's a single hook. And the reason we got all this wire and all these treble hooks is because ideally we want to catch something like a wahoo, right? And the way those fish work is they're going to come up and slash it instead of eating our bait whole, and that's what those treble hooks are there for when they eat it, they get pinned right away. Because they usually don't eat it whole, they'll just take a chunk out of the tail or the midsection. And they're pretty crazy, so you want to let them out slowly, otherwise your hooks are going to get untangled or your hooks are going to come out of the speedo. So boom, 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 boom.
What is it doing?
Oh.
That just got hit,
Yep,
or is
yep,
it hidden?
yep. No,
is it stuck? Is it stuck on the ground?
No, it's hit. Fish on.
Man.
Fish on, fish on.
All they needed, Dennis, was a little... So you want me to reel this up now?
Yes. So this was on that downrigger bait. We came in shallower on the inside of the second reef and got a nice fish on right here.
What did I say?
Brooke always
What
is
did
right.
I say?
Brooke always wants to go in shallower, and guess what? We got hit. Sometimes, listen, your wife knows best, gentlemen. Listen to your wife. If she wants to go in shallow, you go in shallow. I feel like this is gonna be a good kingfish right here. That's what it's fighting like. But we'll take it. It's been a long time since we fished in our home waters, and it always feels good to go out of Hillsboro. You know, there's nothing like fishing at home. We're very fortunate that we get to go and travel to all these cool places, but fishing where you grew up and learned how to fish is a special feeling. It's got that, like, today's that big fish ominous feeling. It's very dreary, overcast, cold fronts coming through. just feels like a big fish day, you know? Or you don't? You just have seaweed?
No, we're good now.
Okay.
What do you want me to do since it's in?
Just put him in the live well?
well?
Yeah, put him in the live well. There's no sense in trying to get tangled and losing this fish, so we're gonna put that speedo in the live well right there. I'm fighting with relatively light drag because with all these treble hooks, you don't want that hook to pull. I don't know how good he's hooked, so I'm taking my time. I got color.
It's big. Long.
Yep, it's long.
It's long. It's silver.
I think it's a big king. I do believe it's a big king. I don't think it's a barracuda.
Kind of looks what?
Oh, is that an African pompano?
It kind of looks like
It's
it.
a big African pompano, guys. Heck yeah, man. Did not expect that. That is sick. I see that big silver body. It's a big African pompano. You never know what you're gonna catch on these. That's why I like trolling these big baits. They're just so enticing. I was gonna say this fish is fighting a little weird. It's got those like big jack tail beats. So that African pompano right now is broadside and just doing kind of like the tuna pinwheel right now. That is the last thing I expected to catch today, especially this shallow. We get African pompano pretty common out here, but it's usually in the springtime and they're usually on the wrecks where they spawn. And normally you don't see them this shallow. Normally they're way out deeper on the wrecks.
Wow, so exciting, huh? That's exciting.
Very.
It's gonna be a beast of one too.
He sees that boat. He don't want to be anywhere near it. It's like if I knew how good he was hooked, I could put a lot of pressure on him,
Yeah.
but with a wire rig and all these treble hooks, you know?
We got all day, man.
Yeah.
We got all day. No need to rush it.
We're gonna go back to that same spot, Brooke.
To be honest, when I said let's go shallow, this is not the fish that I was expecting to catch.
Beautiful.
Baby.
Are you ready, Brookie?
Yeah, I'm going on this side of you.
Oh, that's a stud. Yeah!
Look at that thing.
Here.
I think I got him good.
Yeah, you know what? Leave him there because he's very bloody. Holy smokes. That's like the perfect gaff shot. You bled him in the water. We're gonna just let him kind of sit there because he's bleeding right now. I'm so stoked. That's my biggest African pompano out here and only the second like legal one I've ever caught. Normally when we catch them out here, they're really small, but this is a good size African pompano.
I'm like really like trying to pay attention that we don't have like a shark come up. Normally in pompano, we don't have to really worry about it, but that thing bled a lot. Okay, you ready? Let's bring him in.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Uh-oh,
Watch
I'm
it.
stuck
You
on
got it
something.
right behind you. Stud muffin.
Woo! Heck yeah, baby.
He's not hooked that good. He's got one little hook in there, and look at this. Barely hooked in the corner of the mouth right here with the treble hooks. That's why I really took my time because I didn't want that hook to pull. You know, you can lose a really quality fish if you get too antsy. All right, so check it out. That is a gorgeous, big African pompano. Always a treat when we can catch these guys. They resemble a jack, but taste nothing like it. They got delicious white meat and it's so gorgeous. You guys see all like the iridescent blues and greens that this guy has? He just looks like this big silver saucer in the water. Amazing fighters, amazing table fare, and always puts a smile on your face when you catch them. And just look at this huge mouth he's got on him. Just such a unique, beautiful fish. Absolutely love these guys. There we go.
Yeah.
Man, a fish like that, your day is made. What more to say? We're gonna get baits back out, and it's Berkey's turn. Whatever hits next, Berkey's on the rod. We are back on the troll. Got the whole spread out again. Got the downrigger, the 2 outrigger rods. Quick shout out to Waterland Co., the sunglass sponsor on the channel. If you guys are looking for a fresh pair of shades for 2024, Berkey's rocking them. They make ladies sunglasses, they make men's sunglasses in a bunch of different frames and styles. And the cool part is they also make prescription glasses. I know a lot of people wear glasses and it's a big issue when you're offshore or just in general to have the best of both worlds, but they make prescription sunglasses, which I think is really cool. So you guys can check them out, linked below, waterlandco.com, and you can use my code LANDSHARK, save 15% off. Grab yourself a fresh pair of Waterlands, and we're back on the troll, baby.
So then, see, there's your answer.
Oh, that just popped out of the finger. It's on. I think. Yep.
Oh yeah, baby, we're taking drag. Maybe
There's another
not.
one of those soft hits. Is he still on or no?
I feel like it.
That one might be getting hit. Yep. Take this one, Brooke. Here. You got a double. Take it.
One.
Yes.
Double! Careful, you're wrapped in that line.
We found the fish.
Heck yeah.
Let's see how good my fishing skills are. See if I could catch 2 fish at once.
Look at that.
We're literally tripled up. When do you ever get a triple that actually sticks? Where we get all 3 fish on. Dennis is filming and cranking at the same time right there. It is crazy. So yeah, this is just wild. Very rarely do you get 3 fish on at once. I think they're amberjacks. Yeah, mine's an amberjack, but that's crazy.
An Amico?
No, it's mine's a greater amberjack. I'm gonna let it go, and then we can focus on yours. I'm gonna grab him by the tail. Hold on, buddy. Okay. There's an amberjack. I don't even know if this guy would be legal, but we're not gonna keep him out of the water too long. Just take a quick look at him and let's go help Ricky. I think we're shallow sea fishing today. We were all talking about, is this considered deep sea fishing? My cousin's birthday was yesterday and he's not a really fishy guy, and he called me and he goes, so what kind of fishing are you doing tomorrow? Deep sea fishing? And it's always funny, is like, as a fisherman, technically it's deep sea fishing, but when you're in the fishing community, you don't say deep sea fishing. You just say we're going fishing.
It's getting hit. You're good. I got it.
Oh my, it's a king. Oh man, we just got a nice kingfish bite, and we saw him jumping in the back, jumping in the slick. You saw the speedo coming out of the water, and I just reeled this in, and we got a completely clean cut in the mono. That's the one thing that I thought we were gonna catch today, is a kingfish, and we have not caught one yet. Wow.
That was a good friggin' hit. That's the one we've been waiting for, huh?
Mm-hmm. That was a rip and run right there. He grabbed that speedo and just went and never stopped. I was charging the boat. I feel like he still doesn't know that he's hooked. That was a king run. Since we film YouTube videos, we can never really listen to music. You can't have copyrighted music on YouTube videos, but we were just jamming, man, and we got hit. I think the fish like the music sometimes. It's a king.
Give me 1 second.
I'm gonna try to bring him right to you right here. Beautiful, you are 2 for 2 there on good gap shots. Woo! Kingfish in the boat, stoned by Brooke.
We finally got a king in the boat, huh? That's what we thought we were gonna catch all day long. Finally got a king in the boat.
Look at that speedo. You see, you guys, this is a perfect example of why we fished those 3 hooks. He came up and slashed that bait right in the middle. And if you don't have 3 hooks, if you just fish 1 hook, you're never gonna get that fish. Look at how he's hooked. He hit it so dang fast, that mustad treble hook is in the top of his head. And it was barely hooked right there on the top of the head. Look at that speedo.
Look how the bait is ripped. Isn't that interesting?
Uh-huh. See that mouthful of teeth? He comes up, he sees that speedo, he slashes it, and then he comes back for the rest. So cool to see nature in action like that. This is right around the same size of the one that we saw before that came up in the slick. Just get so fired up on these speedos. These speedos put out so much vibration. I don't think these fish can resist it. They just gotta have a bite of it. All right. If we don't catch another fish, day's been made. Did you see the bait up? Oh, that's a good king.
So sick. Should I let it eat it? I'm letting it eat.
Did he cut it?
Oh! Did you get that Dennis on video? No way.
That's so
That's
cool.
so sick. It just pulled.
That was cool. Dennis is like, I see this rod's getting nervous, and he starts pointing the camera. Kingfish skies 10 feet behind the boat. All right, so before we head in, I'm gonna go ahead and brine these fish. So I'm gonna take some of this beautiful ocean water and dump it into there. And now the fish is gonna be submerged and it should start to kind of slosh around. It's gonna drop the core temperature of those fish. And I know Brian Chris, who's watching right now, my father-in-law, brought music. I brought tears to his eyes seeing us do that. He always wants us to do that. And it makes your fish a lot easier to fillet. When fish are really firm and cold, especially thicker fish like those amberjacks, that ice is not working as fast to get that core temperature down, but when it's submerged, it's gonna be chilled to the bone. All right, I wanna see how much this bad boy right here weighs. Before we put it on the scale, I'm gonna say 29.2 pounds. 29, how about you, Brooke?
I haven't actually picked it up yet. Can I give it a little? Oh, Hannah. I'm going 33.
Everyone should comment down below right now what they think.
Oh yeah, good idea. Everyone, comment down below how much you think it weighs. I'd give it 29. It's 29.
Just gave the Dexters a brand new sharpen for the new year. We're gonna go with the 7-inch Dexter flexible fillet. These fish are just so dang cool to look at. I don't want to say they're uncommon, but they're not that common. But in our area, it's not something like you could go out and say, all right, we're gonna go and get a bunch of these. You may or may not get them. On the West Coast, on the other hand, they do spawn really good on the Gulf wrecks, and they catch a ton of these African pompano. They're just like the shiniest fish that you'll ever see. So the way I like to fillet this fish, now that I've done a couple in my lifetime, they have very hard bone structures, okay? So I go right here by the tail. So African pompano, if you outline your fish, this African pompano right here, it's really hard. You can't really get it to get your knife to go there. So you almost got to go a little bit on the outside. You're going to feel where your knife allows you to go. It's not like a normal fish where you could go jet on the outside, because they do have that really thick part to them. We're going to trace it all the way up to the head meat. They do have a lot of head meat all the way up here, just like a dolphin would have. And now I like to work one of the very few fish, kingfish, tuna, dolphin, wahoo, and African pompano. I prefer to work from the tail up towards the head, and I can get my knife real flat on this African pompano spine and free up that meat. And it is, I'll tell you what, it is ice cold from that brine and sitting on ice all day. And I'm going to continue to do this until I get to the African pompano's backbone, which they got a huge raised backbone. We're going to work and free up this head meat. So I'm going to follow to where that soft part of the head meat ends, go around. And now African pompano, another thing, massive rib cage. I'm going to tilt my knife up and try to break through the pin bones, just like that. Now I'm going to separate this little thin layer of meat right on top of the backbone. So I'm going to come from the bottom half now, and I'm going to make a bottom loin cut. And same thing. See, if you try to put your knife here, you're not really going to be able to cut through it. Get your knife flat and work towards the midline of that fish. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to meet my cut from the other side into the fish's backbone. And it's okay if you cut into the gut cavity, because African pompano have a very, not a very stinky stomach. If you ever have a fillet that's really big and awkward to work with, you never want to tear and fold meat. So what you can do is, I can take my knife and I can put a little hole, not in the fillet itself, but just in the skin. And I can use this as kind of like a grip, so that way I'm not tearing it, but I'm just lifting it up flat. And now this rib cage right here that you see, I'm just gonna free it up from the rib cage. And voila, just like that. Huge slab of African pompano meat, and it's crazy how bloody this thing is, because you saw when Brooke gaffed it, that thing bled like crazy. Since this is such a big fillet, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the bloodline as well as split our fillet in half in the very same time. So I'm gonna run my knife on one side of the bloodline, and I do want to go through the skin on this, and the same thing on the other. I'm also removing the pin bones as I do this. So that's the stuff you don't really want to eat anyway. You guys see that's the only gamey part of a fish, is that bloodline. Now African pompano has very thin skin. So another way to prevent me tearing through that skin is I'm going to skin this in two separate sections. What I'll do is I'll start here. I'll swivel my knife, okay? And I'm gonna just try to ride right above the African pompano skin. How do we do? Look at that, beautiful. Left no skin on there. Set that above there. Don't want your fillets touching the skin or the fresh water on the table. Same thing. Take a nice sizable chunk, swivel your knife, and then let your left hand follow underneath there so you could really feel to see what your knife's doing and making sure that you're not tearing through that skin. All right, once again, see, there's no skin on there. So there it is, Mr. African pompano all filleted out using the Dexter, and you guys can actually save 20% off all Dexter knives. Use my code LANDSHARK. Back in the day, when talking about products, I used to feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, when I think about it, it's the products that I truly believe in and endorse. If you guys have the opportunity to save money, no one's forcing anyone to do anything. If you guys like the stuff that I use, you see the proof is in the pudding. Right there, great fillet job. They make good knives. Same thing with all the hooks and terminal tackle we use today. You guys can actually save money on the Mustad products, Tough Line products. Use my code LANDSHARK. Basically, anything you guys can save money on, you can always check the description box below. Check it out. There might be something you need. Save yourself a few bucks. Dinner is going to be really amazing. You guys are invited. You got seats at the table, so I'll see you there. I'm talking creamy Cajun pasta, a broiled African pompano. But first we're gonna start with the pasta to get it going. Gonna take the fish out the fridge, show you how we prepare that. Whole stick of butter, cooking for the whole family tonight. Already went ahead and diced up some onion. We got yellow pepper in there, red pepper, orange bell pepper, and green pepper. And we're gonna go ahead and toss this in and start sauteing our vegetables. The vegetables have been sauteed. Add a little flour to thicken up our sauce later. Cook that raw flour taste out. 2 whole heads of garlic going in. This is like 10 tomatoes roughly chopped. We're gonna add this in now too and let those reduce. Wilt it down. Gonna release a lot of juice and give a nice base to our sauce. African pompano, beautiful fish. Just glistening. Already seasoned it with some salt, garlic powder, and black pepper. And then I'm gonna do a kind of like a mayo, like a pesto mayo base to go on top of the fish so that way we can put it under the broiler and it doesn't get burnt. So I just had some of this pesto laying around. Instead of putting oil or butter on it, this is gonna act as our fat in the dish. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this. I'm just gonna do one side of the fish. I'm gonna go right on top. You know, when I first started cooking, the thought of putting mayo on fish really kind of freaked me out, right? But if you think about it, all mayo is oil and egg yolk, right? It's just 2 forms of fat. So instead of putting oil on it or butter, you're basically just substituting, but mayo's got a really good flavor. And especially if you ever want to make any type of flavored fat base, like I just did, you could do roasted red pepper, garlic, you could do like an Asian sesame, you could throw some ginger and garlic in there. Tomatoes have reduced down a lot, so now I'm gonna go in with some chicken stock to add some volume. I'm just gonna add whatever left we have here of this Cajun seasoning, which is just a lot of paprika, thyme, oregano, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, those kinds of flavors. I think that Cajun seasoning had a little bit of heat to it. It's really good. Fish going in the oven, 400 degrees. And then at some point, I'm gonna put the broiler on and get them going. This pasta sauce is just coming to life. All those flavors are marrying together. So I'm gonna go ahead, I have some asparagus chopped up. Asparagus is a very good neutral vegetable. It just goes so well with so many different flavors. And I'm putting it towards the end because I like a nice crisp asparagus. I don't like it to be mushy. You can't have a creamy Cajun pasta without the cream, so I'm gonna go in with, I'll do half of this container of heavy whipping cream at first and see how it tastes, and if I like it. If I want more, I'll put in more. And every time I add something, I always taste for salt content, right? You want dishes to be perfectly salty and you don't want to overdo it. So just add a little bit at a time until you're happy with it. And I feel like it's lacking a little bit of kick, so I'm gonna add some crushed red pepper, which is a very mild spice. You know, it's not gonna kill someone. Perfectly salty, right amount of kick, got plenty of sauce. I always worry, whenever you make pasta, you never not want to have enough sauce, right? Pasta's done, pasta sauce is done. I'm gonna reduce the heat. We're going to broil the fish 5-6 minutes at 400, but those African pompano fillets were pretty thick, so they're gonna broil on top. That pesto is gonna caramelize, and it's just gonna be really good. All right, look at that bubbly broil. Okay, now the fish should be done. Okay, so fish is just about done. I'm plating the pasta right now. Steamy, creamy Cajun pasta with all those delicious veggies and that sauce. Now look at that. We got some color on our fish, and it looks amazing, guys. Look at that. African pompano is a firm fish, so I should be able to do this with the tongs without it falling apart. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby.
Whoa, look at this. They're all plated, ready to go. Which one's mine?
Smells good.
It's a big piece.
Yeah, that's
But
what I have my eye on that piece, Victor.
There's enough for everyone to have 2 pieces. Just look at that. You know what? I love when fish flakes like that, and you just look inside and you know it's gonna be good.
What an amazing treat. Jeez. This, look at it. It tastes as good as it looks. It's gorgeous and it tastes as good as it looks. If you could have days like that out there every day, boy, that was a nice day you guys had.
If it was like that every day, you get spoiled.
I don't know if I've had African pompano since Mom caught one in the Bahamas when I was a little kid.
We've made it for you before. It's so infrequent. That's why this fish is such a treat. I don't blame you. There's so many fish that hits this table, it's overwhelming, isn't it?
It definitely doesn't get any better than this. A perfect fish to show off how well you can cook. I'll say that. It definitely does you justice, Victor, because it's everything about this fish really shines, and all the flavors that you put into it are really something.
I like how you cook that giant chunk of fish, and it's perfectly cooked all the way through. You know, look at it. It's so uniform all the way through.
Dennis, how many times did I take it out of the oven to check for that?
So just to tack on to what Fisher was saying, I feel like when they cook like something considered like a trash fish, they kind of have to work harder to make everybody enjoy that type of fish that isn't eaten as often. But something as good of eating as, you know, African pompano, I feel like it's just kind of Victor showing off. It was so good. A triumph. Well done.
Triumph. I'll take it.
Well, on the boat, we were like, Victor, what do you think you're gonna cook with this fish? And he was like, I don't really know yet. And he absolutely killed this. It's incredible to go out there the same day, catch the fish, bring it home, clean it, and eat it on the same night, and have it turn out like a 5-star dish. It was absolutely delicious. So good job, Vic.
So this is the first meal that Victor's cooked for me in the new year. And I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It was really good. I know he's gonna do amazing things this year, so I'm not gonna say that this is gonna be the best dish, but it is like top dishes. I love the sauce. The fish was cooked perfectly, and all the flavors are just amazing together.
Well, this dish was delicious, and Brian had his third plate, so
Deborah.
you can tell it was really good. We were supposed to just go out to a restaurant, and I'm glad we didn't, and they invited us here. It was so much better than going out. I love coming here. The food's awesome. This fish was beautiful, and it was giant. I just loved it. Good job. 2 thumbs up.
I got one thing to say. I got to thank my crew, Brookie and Dennis. Dennis sits there and holds that camera all day long, waiting for a bite, and he got some really cool eats on video today. And then Brookie, just as patient. We're out there working as a team. Wouldn't want to have anyone else as my wife out there with me, so it's just good. It's a great way to start the new year, surrounded by people I love, and that's all I got to say. Surround yourself with people that love you and that you love, and you're going to have a good year. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.